Have you ever wondered why the night is so black? Not just dark, but truly black, as if someone poured ink onto the very canvas of reality. We've grown accustomed to thinking of space as a playground for billionaires, or just a pretty backdrop for science fiction movies. But space doesn't care about our movies. It doesn't care about us at all. You're sitting there in your comfortable chair right now, holding your phone, while directly above your head, an abyss is unfolding. A depth measured not in miles, but in centuries of absolute loneliness. We feel like the masters of Earth, but have you ever considered that we are just accidental passengers on a tiny grain of sand, drifting through a dark, silent ocean? Recently, something changed. In a remote sector of our system, where every calculation said there should be nothing but dead vacuum, astronauts stumbled upon a shadow. It wasn't a planet in the way we usually understand the word. It was a chunk of dense darkness that swallowed the light of distant stars so greedily, it was as if it wanted to erase the very memory of their existence. When the first data reached Earth, a heavy silence fell over the space agency labs. You know that specific kind of silence that happens a moment before a disaster? When you've already seen the flash of lightning, but you're still braced, waiting for the thunder. Scientists named it Object 001, but among themselves in whispers, they called it the Singular Wanderer. This planet doesn't just move through space, it twists it. It is coming straight for us. And no, this isn't another asteroid scare. This is something far more massive. It's a challenge to the very logic of our existence. Now stop. For 1 second, forget everything they taught you in school. We were told that space is perfect order. Planets orbit stars. Stars orbit galactic centers. Everything is precise, like an expensive Swiss watch. But what if I told you that this watch has been broken for a long time? Right now, as we speak, somewhere out there beyond the orbit of Pluto, there is an object that flagrantly ignores every law of physics we know. NASA officially states that its size does not exceed that of Jupiter. They draw beautiful graphs. They issue press releases about an interesting find. But here's the catch. They are lying. And they aren't just hiding numbers. They are hiding the very nature of this planet. The true size of this object is such that it shouldn't even exist in our universe. It is so massive that its own gravitational field has begun to consume the space around it. This isn't just a planet. It's a hole in reality, masterfully disguised as a celestial body. Why are they silent? Because if they told the truth today, the concept of a safe home would collapse like a house of cards in the wind. Space is not a calm ocean. It's a wild beast that has just opened its massive eyes and looked directly at us. Do you feel that strange chill down your spine? That's not a draft in your room. That's the realization that we are merely a statistical error in someone's very large and very dangerous experiment. We've spent too long getting used to comfortable lies, but the truth is already here, breathing down our necks. Imagine an object so massive that time itself slows down around it to the state of thick, viscous syrup. This planet, recently discovered by astronauts, has a density that contradicts everything humanity knows about matter. If you could stand on its surface, though the word surface is completely out of place here, 1 second for you would last 1,000 years for those left on Earth. NASA hides its true volume because that volume is dynamic. It's growing. It's as if it feeds on space-time itself, swallowing the vacuum and turning it into its own black, impenetrable flesh. Scientists use the term gravitational anomaly, but that's just a convenient word to avoid using the word horror. This monster isn't just flying toward us. It's pulling our entire solar system toward it, like a magnet pulling metal shavings. We won't collide with it tomorrow or next year, but we are already feeling its icy influence. Subtle shifts in the orbits of distant planets, the strange, almost hysterical behavior of the sun, which has suddenly started showing uncharacteristic activity. These are all the fingers of this giant, invisible hand slowly tightening around our necks. It won't destroy Earth with a simple impact. It will simply dissolve it within its field, making us part of its infinite, dark volume. And do you know the scariest part of this story? When astronauts pointed their most sensitive instruments at it, they didn't hear the usual radio noise. They heard something resembling a rhythmic heartbeat. One beat every 100 hours. The slowed down pulse of some dead cosmic god. How do you explain to billions of people that something is approaching that doesn't even consider us living beings? You often ask in the comments, why would they hide this? Well, really, if there were a real threat of this scale, wouldn't they have to warn us all? Warn us so we could, what? Build concrete bunkers against gravity that rips atoms apart? Start praying collectively? Perhaps pack our bags for Mars, which, by the way, is also in this monster's crosshairs. The truth is that space agencies aren't just scientists in white coats. They are planetary-scale psychologists. They know perfectly well that humanity is a very unstable system. News of a planet capable of swallowing Earth, along with its history, would cause more than just panic. It would cause a total collapse of all meaning. Why go to work tomorrow? Why raise children, make plans, or obey laws if the impossible is approaching? They carefully edit telescope images, painting over massive black spots on star maps. The true size of this planet already occupies several degrees of our sky if viewed in the infrared spectrum. It's like living in an old house and stubbornly refusing to notice that one wall is slowly, inch by inch, moving right toward you. You get used to the shadow. You tell yourself it's just another cloud. But it's not a cloud. It's the censorship of reality itself. We are given measured numbers, 50,000 kilometers in diameter, a safe distance of several light years. These are sedative pills for the collective mind. But if you glance at the original data that sometimes accidentally leaks through anonymous sources, you'll see a completely different, terrifying picture. There is no fixed diameter. There is only a vector of infinite expansion. They say that one of the astronauts from a classified mission, who was the first to see this planet through a viewport without any electronic filters, never spoke another word after returning to Earth. He simply stared at a single point for 6 months and then suddenly disappeared. The official version is that he retired for health reasons. Unofficially, his mind simply couldn't handle a scale of that magnitude. You see, the human eye is not adapted to perceive such sizes. For thousands of years, our brains grew accustomed to horizons, to boundaries, to understandable shapes. But when you see something that has no visible edge, that fills the entire space while remaining millions of miles away from you, something fundamental inside you breaks forever. He left a short entry in his private diary, just one strange phrase. It isn't looking at us, it's remembering us. What could that mean? Perhaps this cosmic object isn't just dead rock and gas. Perhaps it's some form of the universe's own memory, returned to correct the mistakes of the past. Those who worked on orbital stations during the anomaly's approach reported strange, vivid dreams. These were collective hallucinations where people saw Earth not as a majestic planet, but as a small, fragile glass marble held between someone's invisible fingers. This isn't just physical pressure, it's a mental attack. The killer planet broadcasts on frequencies we call intuition or primal existential dread. The larger it becomes in our sky, the smaller we become. And at some point there will be nothing left of us. Not because we were crushed physically, but because we stopped believing in our own significance. Let's talk for a minute about the language of numbers. We all love numbers because they give us the sweet illusion of control. 60 miles per hour, we understand that. 30,000 feet above sea level, that too. But when scientists start using numbers like 1 trillion, our brains simply shut down. It paints an abstract a whole lot in the imagination. Space agencies masterfully use this weakness of ours. They manipulate orders of magnitude so that we never feel the true scale of the threat. The true size of that planet is such that if it were in place of our moon, it would cover the entire sky, from horizon to horizon. Not a single ray of sun, only a black, barely pulsing surface pressing down on your very soul. This is a true mathematical paradox. How has an object of such incredible size not yet turned into a star or a black hole? The answer they hide so carefully is even more shocking. It is hollow inside. It is a massive, thin sphere. And inside it, what? Another universe? A giant data storage? Or is it just absolute emptiness that decided to take the shape of a sphere to make it easier for us to go insane with fear? We are used to thinking of planets as solid, reliable balls of rock. But this planet is a message written in the language of gravity, and we still can't decipher it. We argue about kilometers and miles, but we should be asking about the meaning. Why is it here? Why now, in the year 2026? Perhaps it was just waiting for us to become smart enough to realize how helpless we are. Mathematics is the language of God, but sometimes God uses it to write our collective obituary. Right now, you feel a strange calm. You think, well, this is still somewhere out there, beyond the reach of my life. But space doesn't know our earthly concept of far. On the scale of our galaxy, we and this planet are in the same small room. We are already breathing the same gravitational air. It isn't just approaching in physical space, it's taking root in our consciousness. Have you noticed how our world has changed over the last few years? How general anxiety has grown? How the feeling that we are all standing on the threshold of something irreversible has intensified? This isn't just the result of politics or environmental problems. It's resonance. Our planet is a small, frightened heart starting to beat in unison with that large, dark heart that is relentlessly coming for us from the darkness. They hide the true size because they know as soon as humanity sees its true outline through ordinary telescopes, we won't see a planet there. We will see a mirror. In that bottomless blackness, each of us will see our greatest, most secret fear. For some, it will be loneliness. For others, absolute oblivion. For others, an inevitable reckoning for everything done. This is a catalyst planet. It won't destroy Earth with fire or explosion. It will destroy it with truth, with the true size of our insignificance in the face of limitless infinity. Are you truly ready to see this size with your own eyes? Are you ready to realize that everything you knew about the world is just a thin, transparent film on the surface of a deep ocean, where something has finally risen from the very bottom? We've searched for life in space for billions of years, but we forgot that life might not be at all like what we drew in atlases. It might be large, cold, and completely indifferent to our prayers. So, we have reached the edge, a planet capable of swallowing the Earth. Organizations hiding the real numbers under top-secret labels. Astronauts returning with empty eyes. What are we left with when we throw away all the conspiracy theories? Perhaps the real reason for this great secret isn't that they fear our panic. It's that they themselves, with all their advanced technology, have no idea what this thing is. They hide the size simply because it cannot be measured by any human instruments. How can you measure something that has no clear physical boundaries? How do you describe an object that is simultaneously trillions of miles away and already here, in your nightly dreams? Space is a vast, merciless mirror. We have looked into it for thousands of years and seen only what we were ready to see. Today, we see a deadly threat there. Tomorrow, we might see a new god. And the day after tomorrow, there might simply be nothing left of us to see anything at all. But you know, that is the true beauty of our moment. In this absolute merciless mystery, we live in an era where there are supposedly ready answers for all questions in search engines. But the universe has just sent us a file that cannot be opened by any program. The planet is coming. It is already much closer than it was at the very beginning of this video. You can close your eyes right now. You can turn off this screen. You can sincerely believe the official reports about a safe object. But the darkness won't disappear just because you don't believe in it. It is simply waiting patiently for its time. Perhaps the real truth is that size doesn't matter at all. What matters is only what we feel at the moment we look up. Fear, or perhaps finally a strange relief. Because when something so large arrives, all our small daily problems, all our wars, debts, and grudges become absolutely nothing. We finally become one, in the face of that which cannot be understood by the mind. Look at the sky more often, not to find answers there, but to learn to live with the questions that no one will ever answer for you. Because the true greatness of humanity is not in the size of our cities. It's in the fact that we, so tiny and vulnerable, still have the courage to look into the eyes of this limitless darkness.